Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's GTA 5 video, I'm going to be telling you guys 20 things you need to know about the Grotti Furia Supercar before you end up buying it in Grand Theft Auto Online. So I am incredibly excited about this vehicle, and it has some really cool quirks and features that we're going to be looking at in today's video. So for starters, let's take a look at the price of this vehicle. It's odd that it actually has a buy it now and a trade price, which is interesting, which means that it's used in some way, shape, and form in the Diamond Casino heist. The buy it now price is $2,740,000, whereas the trade price is $2,055,000. And there's a good chance this car could be coming out very soon, as its order is the first car on the Legendary Motorsports site. Now, in case you guys are also wondering what this car is based off of, it's sort of a combination between the Ferrari 488, the Ferrari SF90 Stradale, and a little bit of the Pininfarina Battista. And we'll talk about some other quirks that it has that represent some other cars too. So now that you know a little bit about the car, let's take this into the Los Santos custom shop and let's get to customizing it. And has a good bit of customization, not an insane amount, but 20 is still pretty good. You can obviously start with the bumpers, where you can choose to add a handful of upgrades like custom splitters, street splitters, and primary, secondary, and carbon. You can also pretty much do the same thing on the rear, except you're going to be adding either fends or a diffuser altogether. Now, you can also add some canards to the front bumper as well if you really wanted to make this like a rally or a street version. I was going for a more cleaner version, so I opted not to go for any of these, but you can choose to do whatever you want. You can also modify the engine block as well. You can add a no accent to the engine, or you can add the primary accents, which I think I ended up going for because I think my final color was like red, so I figured that that would actually look really good. You can also change the exhaust as well. There's a handful of exhaust options. It's a little bit hard to see in the Los Santos custom shop. And there's also some interesting ones too that sort of are towards the engine of the car as well, which actually look pretty cool. So those are your exhaust options right there. There's also a ton of hood options as well. Again, because this car is like a combination of 3 different types of Ferraris, you've got like a bunch of different customization that you would see on all those types of vehicles. So you can do a lot of cool things there. The hood, again, no exception either. And then that leads us to our liveries. And there's a lot of really good ones on here. The first one is Black Stripe, which is pretty simple. It's just 2 black stripes going across the hood, roof, and back of the car. Same with white stripes as well. It's the exact same thing, except instead of black, it's white. So if you wanted to go for some simple livery designs, you could. One of my favorites, I think, is actually tricolor, which is pretty much the same thing, except you've got the colors of the Italian flag and the red, white, and green running across the hood, top, and back of the car. So that one's actually probably my favorite of the entire simple bunch. Then there's another one, which is dark two-tone, which sort of creates this like black gradient on the back of the car. It's really cool because then you can add like a fun color to the front, but then like the entire vehicle isn't like one big color. So I actually like that a lot. That is dark two-tone. The next one is Pizvazzer, which I like a lot. You get the sort of like retro vibe here with the yellowish orange, the red, and the black. I don't know. I really like it. The colors almost sort of hug all the curves of the car, and they put them in really cool areas. So I'm a big fan of the Pizvazzer one. There's also a couple of other like sponsorships that you can see on there. I think there's like 82 written on the car as well. So that's the Pizvazzer one. The next one is Globe Oil, which I don't know if I'm a huge fan of, just because it kind of looks like it was done in like a kindergarten class, or like just like the numbers thrown on there. And like the Globe Oil sponsorship like blends into the side skirt. So I don't know about this one. I'm just not a huge fan of it. I do like kind of how simple it is, but it just seems like things were sort of thrown on here randomly. So I can't say that's my favorite. The next one, though, I do really like, and that is the Douche Rally one. It's sort of the same as the dark two-tone, where it makes like the back half of the car one color, except this time it's bright orange. So this one I would recommend pairing with like a silver or black or a white. It's also got a couple of other sponsorships on there, like Auto Exotic, 55 GT, Atomic Tires, Zero, and Fix Up. I really like this one. It's a bold color, that's for sure, but I'm a big fan. Stronzo Racer is the next one, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I don't really even know how to describe it. You've obviously got the Stronzo sponsorship on there and a handful of other colored sponsorships too, and sort of this like black and silver pattern. So again, I'm really not too sure if I'm a huge fan of this design. Maybe you guys are. The next one is Fukaru Warrior, which I'm also not a giant fan of. Like the back of the car turns into this like, geometric camouflage. The Fukaru logos I think are cool, but I can't really say I love the back all that much. And the final one is Wild. I don't know what this is a reference to, but it's called Masterpiece. And it's sort of like these geometric shapes of like mint green, blue, light red. Again, I don't know what's going on here. This might be a reference to like a pop culture livery or something like that. But that right there is Masterpiece. Now, after we're done with the liveries, we can choose to change up the mirrors a bit if we want, which do look pretty unique on this car, that's for sure. Then it's on to our respray options. We have primary, secondary, and trim. To no one's surprise, primary color is going to have an impact on mostly the entire body of the vehicle, as you guys can see there, leaving the secondary color to adjust a handful of interesting things like the roof and a couple of other things on the car as well. You guys see there on the stock rims how it has that little piece in the center. If you decide to keep the stock rims, it'll actually change that. It'll also change some parts of the car really close to the bumper. As you guys can see there, I'm not really sure what part that is, but it changes that color as well. So it has an impact on the rims, the roof, and some other tiny features of the car as well. And the trim color is going to have an impact on the stitching of the car. So it's not going to change really the interior color, but rather just the stitching itself. You can also upgrade the roof options if you want to go from primary or carbon. You can add a couple of different skirt options to the vehicle as well to spice it up. Interestingly, it only has 2 suspension upgrades lowered in street. I usually thought there was more than that. And other than that, that is pretty much it that you can do on this vehicle. So this is our final product right here. And there's still some more interesting quirks and features that we're going to be talking about. The first is the color of the stock rims. They can actually be colored. So if you use the iFruit app and online, you can make them whatever color you want. You guys can see there we're making them orange, green, blue, purple. Again, you can go for really whatever design you think is interesting. Another interesting design about this car is the doors. It features doors that open up like vertically, but on like a weird hinge. I don't know how to describe it. Also, the trunk and the hood also open, but obviously everyone's going to be focused on the doors here. Now, these are the type of doors that Koenigsegg vehicles usually have. So why Rockstar decided to put this on a Grotti vehicle, I'm not sure. It's also very interesting. It's certainly not the smoothest animation. I'm pretty sure this is the first vehicle that Rockstar has done this on. So yeah, these are some pretty interesting doors. Let's just say that. A couple of other things that's interesting about this car are the headlights. This car like always seems to have like a glowing white beam going across the car perpendicularly. So I think that's kind of interesting. Now, what's weird is it actually doesn't act as a headlight. It just sort of like glows in the dark. Whereas you guys can see, that's what the normal headlights look right there. And of course, it sort of mimics the tail light on the back, but that actually serves a function. So I'm a little bit confused as to what ultimately Rockstar was going for here. So again, more cool quirks and features, but we're not done there yet. This car arguably has one of my all-time favorite features of supercars and vehicles in this game. It has the retractable spoiler. How cool is that? So I'm almost positive that none of these vehicles in real life have that retractable spoiler, but this one in game does, and it looks awesome. You know, the T20, the Nero, they all have that retractable spoiler, and I think that that's one of the coolest features in the game. So overall, what do I think of the Grotti Furia Supercar? I'm a big fan of it. Obviously, Ferrari cars are super cool. This is a combination of 3 of the coolest Ferrari vehicles that have ever been assembled and made in real life. And honestly, I think it's pretty quick too. Now, do I think it's going to be competitive with the top tier supercars right now? That's to be seen. But even if this supercar was terrible performance-wise, this is one that I would still buy. It has a ton of cool customization, a lot of cool quirks and features that are definitely makes the car unique. The only thing that might be off-putting about this vehicle for some people is the price. Obviously, $2.7 million is a lot to spend on a car. But again, if you guys actually get the trade price, you can make it only about $2 million. And that's not all that expensive. So I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. What do you think of this brand new vehicle, the Grotti Furia in GTA 5? Are you going to be buying it? Are you going to be skipping out on it? Are you going to be waiting till it is available on like a discount or a bonus? Let me know your thoughts, opinions, and more in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and all the Diamond Casino Heist videos that I'm going to be doing here on my channel over the next couple of days and weeks. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.